Hello everyone, welcome back to A Couple Books. This is going to be the second top 5 video in this series of top 5s I'm doing for the end of the year. To catch you guys up, if you guys didn't catch the first video, basically I am doing a series of top 5 videos because I only started booktube in October and I wanted to update you and catch you guys up on what I read pre-October, since you guys have been with me on the journey of October, November, December, and I wanted to, just summarize what I've read over the year, what were my thoughts. But without going into too much, I just wanted to do basically a series of top 5s. The first one, which will be down below, was a top 5 fantasy series. It wasn't intentionally fantasy series, it was just all series, but it ended up being literally 5 fantasy series. So now we're going to be doing the top 5 DNFs. And I don't want to say worst books, because a lot of these books I'm going to get a lot of hate for saying I DNF'd it. And I'm expecting that hate down in the comments section down below. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and then comment your hatred down below at me. These are books that I didn't hate, but I didn't vibe with, and I am planning on re-picking up in the next year. I don't know if I'm going to do a worst books video because I don't like that so much. Not because I don't like watching other people's worst books videos, but because I have a hard time saying a book is the worst book. But these are books I definitely couldn't get through on my first try, and I will be picking it up in the year 2021 with hopefully a better viewpoint and a better perspective. So let's get started. The first book is going to be One by One by Ruth Ware. For those who've been on this channel, you guys know I've read Ruth Ware and I enjoy most of her books. I think that she tends to have very dry openings, but they tend to lead to very exciting conclusions. This is Ruth Ware's Locked Room Mystery. For those who don't know, Locked Room Mysteries are basically mysteries in which you are basically in an enclosed space, whether that's because you're locked into a house or because of weather, or for whatever reason you're locked within this area and people start dying and no one knows who the killer is, and that is a locked room mystery. I've read a few really good ones this year. I got into that subgenre and that trope this year, and I was so excited to pick up Ruth Ware's One by One because of that, because I fell in love with locked room mysteries. And I have to say, this book disappointed. It's basically about this corporate retreat where all these people go up to this mountain retreat. They end up getting snowed in and they start dying one by one. I didn't even get to the dying part, I'm not gonna lie to you, because I was so bored. It is like this corporate retreat and all they do is have these meetings and these back locked room conversations about selling the company, not selling the company, and I just grew so bored. Like, don't get me wrong, like, corporate espionage is extremely interesting, and I'd probably read an entire series on just corporate espionage, but this was just so tedious, and it was the back and forth, and I couldn't keep track of who was and wasn't interested in doing the things. I don't even know. I can't even describe it to you. That's the thing. I can't even describe it to you. So I can't even tell you who was dying and who wasn't dying and what the reason they were dying for was. I can presume it has something to do with the company being sold, but that's all I know because I literally only got through like the first 100 pages before I just gave up on it. Unfortunately, this is not normal for Ruth Ware for me. I usually enjoy her books. I'm usually able to push through her dry beginnings, but this one was just like a little too much for me. But I am planning on giving it a try because it is a murder mystery, because it is a locked room mystery, and because it's Ruth Ware. I'm willing to give her a second shot, and I'll be picking up this book in 2021. That book, I'm not surprised if people agree with me on that, but this next one, no one's going to agree with me on, and that's quite okay. And that is Lies of Locke and Lamora by Scott Lynch. I have heard nothing but raves about this series and this book. Basically, think Thieves Guild, think young boys, think Robin Hood characteristics. Basically, it's a group of boys who kind of work in the underworld and they steal from rich nobles, and they have these like really not super complicated once you know what's going on, but in the moment it seems complicated, like quests that they're on and these like thieving missions they're on, and there's like a lot of like underworld politics and personal growth from the main characters, and I can respect that. And I read like, you can see my bookmark, I read like this far into it, and I can respect that and I can appreciate what people love about this, because it's the plot, the intrigue, the characters are not boring. There's nothing really necessarily boring about this. I just didn't vibe with how Scott Lynch structured his characters. I did not vibe with how he structured the plot, and I was getting more confused by the minute, and I wasn't really able to keep up with the characters. Not in the sense that what they were doing was confusing, but that I would just lose interest by the time they got to like the conclusion of what they were doing, I was like, I don't even care anymore. So because I know this is such a famous and well-regarded author, and this is such... Thank you, Nova. Are you done? This is just going to have to be picked up again in 2021 with hopefully a fresh perspective. And now for my third DNF. This is also going to give me a lot of hate. So please yell at me down in the comment section down below. I welcome you. It's going to be the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. I read the Inherited series by her, and I loved it. Like, when I say I loved it, I mean I read like the entire like Inheritance series, like 3 books in one, and like I think 2 weekends. I was obsessed with it. I loved each book. I really enjoyed it so much, and I read that back in like 2019, I think. People were like, the series is so good, it's so fantastic. I couldn't even get through... I don't have my bookmark anymore, but I couldn't even get through most of it. I think I got through like 150 pages before I just threw in the towel on this one. It really, honestly, for this one, it was the world building that I didn't enjoy. I was really confused about what was going on. I vibed with the characters in this one, but I was not vibing with the world building, and it was really confusing me. Not in the sense that like it was too complex, but in the sense that none of the pieces I was drawing in my mind were connecting back to each other, which is a huge issue when you're trying to build a complex world. And I have mad respect for N.K. Jemisin, so I really want to give her book, this series, a second chance. So I will be doing so in the following year. Number 4 pick. This is also, I know this is going to be like a hate couple like comment section, which I'm okay with, and that's going to be Darker Shades of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I read literally like majority of this book. I think I got up to like 50 pages to the end, and I just like picked up another book and just never got it back around to reading this. And it's a semi-intentional, semi-non-intentional DNF, in the sense that like I was enjoying it enough that I was interested in what was going on. I liked the whole idea of different Londons with different levels of magic in the Londons, and these characters who could walk between these Londons. Like, all that was interesting to me. Where it was losing me was just in the story itself. I just didn't care, to be blunt with you guys. Like, so when I picked up another book and then picked up another book after that, next thing you know, it was July, and I was like well past picking this up again and I just didn't feel like restarting it. So I will be restarting this and reading the entire trilogy in 2021. Hopefully I've got a fresh perspective. Hopefully I enjoy it. And then lastly, my 5th DNF of the year is Welcome to Nightvale by Fink and Cranor. This is based off of the Welcome to Nightvale podcast. If you guys don't know, Welcome to Nightvale podcast is basically a podcast where it's like these like newscasters, and they report on like the weird things that go on in Nightvale. It's like super weird stuff, but they talk about it like so normally, like, oh, like Mrs. Carter got abducted by aliens this weekend. Oh, isn't that so tragic? Oh yes, it is, Jeffrey, it is so tragic. And then that's like, and they're just like casual about these things that go on. And like for us, like conspiracy theories and like alien abductions are like big news. For these guys, it's like everyday life. And this is the written like version of people in this Nightvale, and I really loved and enjoyed the podcast very much. I enjoyed the dry humor of it. I enjoyed the absurdity of it, and so I thought I would enjoy this. And it was just so absurd, I couldn't get into it. Like, there's this one character, and she's got like a piece of paper stuck to her hand, and that was like it. Like, it's just this piece of paper stuck to her hand, and like she's going around trying to get this paper off her hand, but she can't get it off her hand. And like normally I'm like super in with it, but I think because the podcasts were so short, I didn't have the attention span necessary to stick with this book. But because I appreciate Nightvale so much, I think I'm going to try and give it a second chance. They came out their second book, so I really wanted to give this book a chance once again. So this will also be a 2021 read, hopefully. So there you guys go. Those are my top 5 DNFs. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Of course, no one enjoyed them because I know like at least 3 of those books are super popular books, and you guys are probably super angry at me for not reading them and DNFing them. But if you guys have noticed, I have not written anything on my Goodreads account about them because I don't feel like I can say I DNF'd it, because I don't think that there's necessarily anything super duper wrong with any of these books, that there's no reason why I shouldn't try it again. So I'll be trying all of these 5 books in 2021. So please pray for me that I'll be able to do it, and don't give me too much hate, but give me a ton of hate in the comment section down below, because I love you all and I know you guys mean it with love. And this has been a couple books. This has been the second top 5 series video. So be sure to stay tuned for the rest of them. I think we've got like 6 more to do. So anyways, happy holidays. I hope everyone's staying healthy and safe. In addition to that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video. Okay, bye everyone.